Now, a man who is touching the lives of thousands of people, James Van Praagh, is today's most sought-after medium. He claims to have a special connection to the spirit world, the ability to contact a loved one that you've lost. Some say you have to see it to believe it. But even then, should you believe what you see? We put James Van Praagh to the test with some eye-opening results. Bill Ritter takes a look at the medium and his message.
Ladies and gentlemen, James Van Praagh.
Thank you.
Can this man really talk to people who have died? He says he can, and lots of people believe him. His name is James Van Praagh, and thousands flock to see him, passionately, desperately longing to hear messages he says come from the dearly departed.
I'm being told to tell you, he's getting help. Your son has told me he's being helped right now. And there's also Richard, too. There's someone named Richie or Richard.
That was my grandson.
Okay. He's being helped right now. Yes, this little boy.
We have a message from Jack Moran, my dad, Jack Moran.
The effect on his followers can be powerful.
And this man wants to apologize to you, okay? There was abuse here. And this man wants to give you love. And he's bringing you roses, and he's begging for your forgiveness. And he said he's sorry. Understand? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
For the past couple of months, Van Praagh has had the best-selling nonfiction book in America. It's called Talking to Heaven, and it has made him a popular celebrity.
Your father keeps on talking about shining his shoes, making sure his shoes are shined.
Oh, when I was little, that was my job. When I was a little tiny kid, I would shine his shoes.
She puts her hands on your shoulders.
I just felt it tingling.
Just felt the tingling. Isn't that wild?
If I asked you, James, to describe simply what it is you do, how would you describe it?
I would say that I'm a conduit to an energy, that God force, and a doorway to the other dimension.
Van Praagh says he had glimpses of his special ability as a kid growing up in New York. But he didn't think much about it until about 15 years ago when he visited a medium in Los Angeles.
And he said, you're going to be doing spirit's work in 2 years' time. And I thought he was joking with me. Uh-huh. And was there someone studying to be a nurse?
Yes.
Who's that?
Me.
You, yeah.
Sure enough, 2 years later, Van Praagh was doing private readings. These days, he does only group readings because he says the spirits told him he should reach more people.
They're here, okay.
Are they talking in English?
She's what? They're talking in thought. Is the only way I could describe it.
Not
to you.
in full sentences?
Bits and pieces of things. I raise up my vibration to a certain level, and the spirit people will slow their vibration down.
And whether you believe him or not, wouldn't it be great if we could indeed talk to heaven, resolve one last bit of unfinished business, and know there's some kind of life after death?
You represent sort of a cross-section of people who believe in this and people who don't believe in this.
We wanted to see if James Van Praagh could do what he says he can do, speak to the spirits. So we asked a few people to participate in a Van Praagh reading.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
This is the first time any of these people had met him. For nearly 3 hours, our group sat, at times mesmerized, at times moved by James Van Praagh.
Go on, slow down, slow down. Slow down, please, one at a time. Your brother wants to talk to you, the parents want to talk to you, I get a mother over here for you as well. I understand that. Do you have a son that passed, son?
Yes.
Because he's talking about you, Dad. Your son is here. I'm trying to get him through stronger. Was this an unexpected passing, please, with your son?
Yes.
Was it fast and quick and out, you know? Oh, it was pills or something?
Yes.
Pills?
Pills.
Like sleeping pills or some kind of pills?
All kinds of pills.
Okay. And I also feel like he was gagging for a while. Something was caught. Some pills were caught higher up at one point, too. Be aware of this. I'm like,
In fact, the Klugman's son did die of a drug overdose.
Don't want you living out the rest of your lives in pain, though, because he's all right. My mission is one of healing, to bring people information. It would be such a sin if I'm granted this gift and I chose not to do anything with it. Wouldn't it be horrible? Good. I understand that. I understand that.
But not everyone believes Van Praagh has a gift.
I don't believe James Van Praagh has any special powers, any psychic powers, nothing.
Michael Shermer is a professional skeptic who says he can explain the mystery of James Van Praagh.
New York in May. I'll be in New York in May.
When we return, you've seen how James Van Praagh's psychic sessions do have the power to captivate an audience. But the professional skeptic isn't impressed, and you're going to see why after this.
We've shown you the powerful and seemingly convincing effect that psychic James Van Praagh has on people. Some truly believe that he has reached loved ones from the beyond, and they're often moved to tears. But others think that Van Praagh is not gifted or even surprising. You decide whom to believe after you hear what Bill Ritter was told by one professional skeptic.
She gives you much, much love and prayers.
For months now, James Van Praagh has been drawing enthusiastic crowds with the extraordinary claim that he talks to the dead.
Spirits come back all the time. They usually go to their...
But he does have his detractors, among them Professor Michael Shermer, author of Why People Believe Weird Things. He's also director of the Skeptic Society, which investigates, among other things, psychic claims. Shermer has studied Van Praagh for nearly 5 years, and he insists Van Praagh is not talking to the dead.
There are unsolved mysteries out there that truly deserve scientific explanations and explorations. This isn't one of them, not even close.
We asked Shermer to analyze excerpts from the readings for the group 2020 brought together, and from other readings Van Praagh's done recently in Los Angeles and Cincinnati. So how does this skeptic explain some moments when Van Praagh seems to get it right?
Charlie around here?
The dog.
That passed over named Charlie?
Mm-hmm. But he got Charlie. That was impressive.
No, he did not get Charlie. He was talking to the man, Peter. He said, "Who is Charlie?" And she said, "My dog."
Do you know any Charlie? Was there Charlie around here?
The dog.
That passed over named Charlie? Mm-hmm. Is that was your dog that passed over?
Our family dog.
Okay, good. Hold on. When I come to you for this dog, believe it or not, because dogs do survive death, okay?
Now, come on. Can this psychic not tell the difference between a dog and a human? This is as good as it gets?
James's first question to this elderly couple was, did you lose a child? Now, how could he have known that?
How could he have not known that? Who would not know that? Who would this couple have lost that they have come to try to contact? Their parents?
But he didn't seem to know it was his son. How would he know that?
Okay, well, you got a 50-50 chance, don't you?
Shermer describes Van Praagh's work in terms of hits and misses, and there do seem to be some unexplainable hits.
And is there someone named Michael or Mike?
Yes.
Who's that, please?
He was a dear friend of mine.
And did he pass over too,
Yes,
please? Because I want to bring Michael or Mike for you, understand? Did you ever win a scholarship?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, okay, we'll give him a hit for that.
But Shermer claims Van Praagh has far more misses than hits.
Any of us can play the parlor game of 20 questions where you're going to get the answer if you ask enough questions.
And that, says Shermer, is one of Van Praagh's 3 primary techniques. Technique number 1, simply ask lots of questions.
Is a child passed over?
No.
No?
No.
Lover?
No.
Don't know who it is. Don't know who it is yet. Were you going to marry this person?
No.
Or who was this?
No.
Was it a female that passed over?
Yes, it was.
Sister of yours that passed over?
No.
Mother?
Mother.
So we had wife, sister, child. You know, he's just groping. I mean, eventually you're going to get it if you just keep guessing.
And
now watch what happened with the